the show with your friend and mine. So tell me, Dr. Squee, who's it gonna be this time? We like to hear you talk, and we love to hear you listen. And if you are not subscribed, you won't know what you're missing. So welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Headphones up. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. I'm Dr. Squee and this is my show. I hope you're well this fine Thursday. So this week, guys, very exciting. We've got Angellica Bell here. So you may know her from such shows as the Martin Lewis Money Show. Like in recent years, she's the winner of MasterChef. She's been on Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. She's done so many presenting jobs over the years, but it all started back in the day with her on CBBC, which next year will be 25 years ago she hosted that. Can you believe it? But today, as well as talking about all that, and we do cover all those things, we also talk about this new survey, which he's here to talk about, by Dole, who are the people behind the tin fruit. So they're talking about pineapple being used with savory food. So we get into the whole pizza debate, into why it can be used so versatile. It's very versatile in a lot of foods, more so than people might think. And we had a wonderful time talking about it, as well as all that. So we're going to get into that in a minute. And it's kind of interesting because, well, I'll get into that in a sec, but I want to talk about a couple of other things just very quickly. First of all, I just want to thank everyone. This week, I finally got an appointment after 2 years to be seen, to be diagnosed, hopefully, with ADHD. And I say hopefully because really, having diagnosis, having that kind of power behind you that it's not just you, that there's a reason why you think and feel the way you do and why you struggle with certain things is so relieving. Being able to get medication, which can help you to focus. And some people do ask me, like, you know, why does diagnosis matter? Well, it's like, since I found out about ADHD, the amount of shared experiences I've found I have with loads of people who also have it, which I thought was just me for so many years, and I felt isolated by that. So it is amazingly powerful to get diagnosis. And I just want to say to anyone who's still in the waiting list, do hold in there, in there. I know it's really painful, and painful is the word I'm going to use, to feel like there's something about you which isn't being recognized by the rest of the world. And it just drives you nuts because it's like, well, am I pretending? Am I kind of... do I really have it? Is this just in my head? And it's not. Like, you know, most of the time it turns out people who think they've got ADHD and have all these shared experiences with people in the community, it turns out they do. You know, there's a reason why you feel like that. So please do hold in there. I just want to thank everyone who's said some lovely comments about me finding out this week that I've got an appointment coming up next month. So it's very exciting after such a long wait. And please, if you are waiting, look up some of the wonderful communities out there. There is support. Please reach out to me. I can put you in touch with a few communities on Facebook and stuff. There's usually a lot of them at workplaces now. So where I work for a university, they've gone on there, and it's just so helpful. So just that word out about ADHD. But on to this week's show, a very exciting one. We recorded just earlier today with Angellica, and I find it really interesting when people are promoting something like this awareness of using pineapple in different savory dishes. It's kind of interesting how you then end up being able to, steer an interview in a different direction from that which you usually would. As I say, I do ask her about some of the other projects, but it's kind of like with the cooking thing and cooking with different things, it's like that related me back to her being on children's TV, where you do have to do makes, and she helped out with Blue Peter, she said during the interview. And MasterChef, obviously that relates to the subject. And it's kind of interesting how you can relate all these things through someone's career to a specific thing they're doing now. For instance, with the Martin Lewis Money Show, like, one of the reasons I'm sure she's used for this campaign is that she's a trusted voice as a consumer advocate and we talk a bit about that. So it was just a really interesting time. And I kind of love interviews which force my head into a different space when I'm talking to someone. And she's just such a bundle of joy and kind of enthusiasm. And she was just so lovely to speak to. Unfortunately, Angellica wasn't able to last minute to put a camera on. So this is an audio only interview, but I said it's some pictures. It's about 20 minutes long, so not too long. But I don't think it's too intrusive. After a while of listening, you won't even notice that you're not seeing my ugly mug and Angelica's lovely mug. Sorry, does that sound creepy? I didn't mean it like that. But anyway, you don't see us, but you see some lovely pictures of Angellica from her career. So that's how we've done that. But guys, I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're all looking after yourself. I hope the rain out there, if you're in the UK, we've got quite a lot of rain today after a long period of sun. I hope it's not getting you down today. And if you want further information about what we talk about today, you can look at the website. We talk about it during the interview, where you can find some recipes and things. I found this really interesting. I now want to cook with pineapple and loads of different recipes, but you're going to hear all about that in a minute. We go straight from the interview right to the end credits, because just for time reasons today. However, I just want to give my usual sign off then right now. So guys, in a world where we can be truly anything, live like you've got two hearts, and please be kind to one another. But here is over to my interview with Angellica Bell. Talk about pineapples. I'm now here with Angellica Bell. Angellica, thank you very much for joining us this not so sunny day.
I know the weather is terrible, but we're not going to let it dampen our spirits, are we? No,
definitely not. So before sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, we're not going to let it dampen our spirits. In fact, we're going to bring the mood up by talking about pineapple.
We are indeed. And if you don't mind, though, I would just like to ask one question before we get onto the pineapple of it all. I just noticed when I was looking through kind of your sort of bio on IMDb, it's 25 years next year, I believe, that you started on CBBC.
Yes.
I was just wondering if I might be able to just quickly ask about that, and kind of what's it like to sort of look back on that, and what was it like kind of starting on TV back then?
You know what, when you say it like that, it really does make me feel like, how it seems like yesterday. I can't believe that all that time was gone when I started. Obviously, I did 7 and a bit years on CBBC, and then there were years where there were repeats on those shows. But it's just strange to see how life has changed, how people watch TV differently, and how children's television has changed so much. Because when I did it, it was mega. It was like an event. Having the bands come in, working with puppets, live afternoons every day, and having children's TV on BBC One as well was just insane. And that link after Newsround into Neighbours, I mean, millions of people would tune in and watch Newsround, and then go in to watch Charlene on Neighbours. So it's crazy. It is crazy. I love my time there. Loved it. It's so good.
I think definitely that kind of like did cement you in kind of like you say, it's like it was kids TV, then it was Neighbours, and it kind of got you into your evenings. So just a wonderful experience it must have been. And just to sort of like go sort of cross into our subject of the day, did you do any kind of do you remember doing any cooks or any kind of like live cooking experiences? Because one of the first things this made me think of was Pineapple and Pizza, and kind of those early cooking shows which you'd get introduced to it through kids TV.
Yeah, no, you did. And we did cooking bits and bobs, and sometimes you go on Blue Peter and help the guys out. Connie, Simon and Matt help them out, with cooking items. And then even back then I did Ready Steady Cook. I won an episode of Ready Steady Cook, and then obviously MasterChef, winning Celebrity MasterChef in 2017. Food's always, had a theme with me. And that's why I'm working with Dole, because, it's all that pineapples. My gran used to cook with pineapple. She had, a cupboard full of tin pineapple as well, which the Dole Sunshine Company have and stuff. And so food has always had a prominent role in my life. And I remember as a child, my gran, and she's one of the reasons why I did MasterChef. She would always cook upside down cakes, pineapple upside down cakes, and pineapple fritters. I loved it. And the versatility of using different foods and different fruits in savoury food. And oftentimes she would just put, tinned pineapple in her stir fries because that's what she had. And that's why I think tin food is great, and tin fruit and pineapple is because it's low cost. It's one of your 5 a day. They're so versatile. And as 62% of the UK now say, pineapple in savoury dishes should not just be limited to pizza.
No, and I totally agree. Like, my mum's from Ireland, and I think there's kind of a culture there of kind of experimenting with cooking quite a lot. So, I never sort of saw a barrier. It seems weird to me that there is a barrier between sweet and savoury cooking. Is that something as a foodie you've always kind of used in your cooking yourself as well?
Yeah, I'll just eat anything. I love it. I like experimenting. And, even the debate about having pineapple on pizza, it's been a long-standing one. And that's what I like. I like these sort of debates about why you like that. Why wouldn't you have pineapple on pizza? But why would you put it in a stir fry? Why would you have it with gammon and fried eggs, but you wouldn't have it on your fry up? It is interesting.
Yeah, and it seems so kind of weird how polarizing it is and how people get so passionate over, not just what they're putting on their pizza, what everyone else is having in their food. It seems like an unusual area to me.
Yeah, no, the pineapple debate is, the Victorians used to have it with their breakfast. I think it was seen as quite, status thing and stuff, and it was huge then, and it sort of waned off in popularity. But yeah, in the last couple of years, when people have been talking about pineapple, would you have it on a fry up or would you have it on a pizza? Even celebrities have got involved in it. And I know David Beckham, he loves pineapple and baked beans on the same plate. And it's because when he was asked about his favourite comfort dish, he has given a massive shout out to gammon, eggs, tinned pineapple, and coleslaw. Something that he used to eat as a childhood brings him back. Food takes us back to different times of our lives. So he's saying yes to pineapple and that savoury combo at mealtimes. I know there's other celebs like Justin Bieber. The Rock. Paris Hilton. They love it. Obviously, there are others who don't, like Gordon Ramsay.
Yes.
Harry Styles and Ranveer Singh, they don't like it. But, each to their own.
Yeah, and what do you think has kind of led us to get a bit more adventurous in this country with our kind of cooking?
I just think that we're much more, a varied culture, multicultural. We're open to trying new things. There's always something different, out there that you should try and people talk about online and stuff. But I do think classic UK dishes can be improved by adding different things to it, like pineapple. And this survey that Dole did, the latest research, said 14% said they'd be willing to try it alongside their Sunday roast, pineapple. 13% said it would be a nice accompaniment with fish and chips. Now, you might laugh, but when I went on holiday a couple of weeks ago, we went to a fish and chip place. It was in Devon, and you always have fish and chips there. And on the menu, on the board, looking up, I glanced down, and there was deep fried pineapple. Yeah, so it's not as strange as you think. So I ordered some of that, and I loved it. Bit of salt, my batter, and my pineapple with some chips and fish. It worked well. It was a nice little compliment.
Oh, I'm totally with you. No, I switched vegan 5 years ago, and so when I go into fish and chip shop, I'm not having the fish, obviously, and I have the pineapple fritter quite often. So I was an early adopter here.
There you go. And I do think that we have pineapple in more foods than we'd like to admit to enjoy. Stir fries, sweet and sour. If you have a takeaway, people have it in that. Often when I go and get pitta, chicken and pitta, I always ask for cheese and pineapple in there. And what about when we have other foods? We're fine to have like cranberry sauce or apple sauce with certain meats at Christmas time, or pork during the year. So why not have, like a pineapple salsa with your roast dinner? There's something for you.
The one which I think you mentioned before, which kind of fascinated me, was people talking about having it with the fry up, which is just sounds like a lovely idea. I never would have thought of. So it's like 21% of men, 16% of women, with 25% in London being the top of the results by city. Come on now, that's got to be a good mix there. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I think it just adds a bit of wow to the plate, a bit of sunshine, just to the fry. I mean, we know that bacon goes well with gammon, and bacon goes well with pineapple because gammon goes well with pineapple. I'm getting mixed up, and so I think it's a no-brainer, really. You know, people have had that sort of thing before in the past, but it's just because it's the fry up and everyone has an idea of what the fry up should look like. And during the survey, that survey that Dole did, they did ask what people would swap out to make way for the pineapple on their full English.
Yeah.
30% of the UK went with black pudding, followed by tomatoes at 16%. So that's overall. I thought it would be mushrooms, but in Liverpool, 28% of residents there did say they'd get rid of the mushrooms in favour of pineapple. So
the tomato was the one which surprised me. Look, I get it. Black pudding's very divisive. I'm probably the only vegan who misses black pudding. And I've even found there is a vegan black pudding, just bizarrely enough. And I thought I was the only person who wanted that. But the tomato I thought was going to be sacred to a lot of people.
Yeah, no, exactly. Sometimes I think even baked beans is one of those things that people don't like it going all over the plate and they put it in a little pot. So that might be an idea as well, to have that so with your pineapple doesn't get all messy. So you can just keep everything sectioned off and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. We will get back onto the important pineapple topic in a second. But I feel like one of the reasons why you might have been asked to be involved in this campaign is because you have become a trusted kind of name in consumer advice. And I did just quickly want to talk about the Martin Lewis Money Show, which you've been on for a number of years now, up until last year. What is there anything particularly that you learned on that show? What was it like kind of stepping into that show?
One of the things we did do, we're keeping it related to food, is talk about how you can save with food and buying in bulk. Like tin food, like tin pineapple, is a great way to still have your five a day, but buy it at a lower price than buying it fresh. I mean, it's still just as nutritional. And also the times when you should go to the shops, when they've got the yellow tickets out at the end of the day. I know also supermarkets do this thing where you can go online and pay for a bag of food. You don't know what you're going to get in it, but it's going to be cheap. So you might get vegetables, you might get tin food or dried products and stuff like that. And then you have to just make up what you want from it. So there's ways to save with cooking. I'm a big advocate of cooking in bulk as well.
Yeah.
So that you don't waste food and it doesn't get wasted and stuff like that. So yeah, it's, I learned so much. What that show is about people and people wanting their money to stretch and make the most of it.
And thank you so much for indulging me with that. I just think it's such an important show, especially now when so many people have been through so much financially over the last few years. Getting back onto the main topic of the day, though, one of the ones which I found kind of, again, it's like if these two were paired together, and one I can picture more readily than the other, but I'm game. First one was pineapple with a doner kebab, which instantly sounds lovely. But with a shepherd's pie is slightly more kind of out there. Is that one you've tried yet?
I have not tried that, and I was a little bit surprised by that because I like a shepherd's pie, but I can't imagine it with pineapple. But some people would like it. I mean, what about pineapple barbecue meatballs?
Okay, that's interesting. And again, for me that would be perfect because you can. That's very adaptable for a vegan diet.
Yes. And what about baked pineapple with salmon?
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so there's loads of different recipes and ideas where you can throw in fruit and mix things up again, because I think that's what Dole's trying to do here. Pineapple was once a staple of English breakfast, like we said in Victorian times, but it's time to bring that back and shake things up and just making those small additions like canned pineapple, which is quick and delicious, into different meals. Like we know, like gammon and pineapple, it can just add to the UK classics. But if people want some recipes to make or try out, they can go to dolesunshine.com On the website, there's lots of recipes, whether they're sweet or savoury, and they're not too difficult to make as well. I think sometimes when we want to try foods out or be a bit experimental, people get a bit afraid. They think, oh, I won't be able to do it at home, or you watch these things on TV and you just think that's just so far away out of my comfort zone. But they're really good recipes, and like you said, don't have to be a master chef, but just give them a go and have a look, and you can find out about products there as well.
That's great. And one of the more fun kind of questions on the survey was about fictional characters who people thought might like pineapple. And that was topped by Mr. Bean on 42%, followed by Rodney Trotter with 24%. Did you want to take a punt on who you'd think would have the pineapple?
Oh, maybe. One of the EastEnders characters just came to my head. What's his name? Oh, or maybe I think someone just Stephen Fry. I think Stephen Fry actually, because he's quintessentially English, and I can imagine him in the Victorian times sitting down to breakfast with some pineapple.
And I think he's perfect choice because he's also someone who, even though he is, like you say, quintessentially British, but I feel like he's someone who does kind of push the envelope and challenges kind of the status quo a bit as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's
a nice choice. And I think also what's really good about this is that I think this is a great one for someone who isn't maybe that experienced with cooking, wants to take a bit of a chance and kind of experiment a bit, because that's what the way I learned to cook was just experimenting and chucking things together. I feel like this is a really nice way of someone kind of, starting to cook without kind of feeling like they're constricted by what people usually do.
Yeah, exactly. And also tastes differ, and people like different things. And ultimately, if you want to give things a go, do it. And then you can just say you've tried it, and then that move on. But sometimes you can be so pleasantly surprised by cooking. That's one of the things when I did MasterChef. There was foods I had never tried before, or foods that looked a bit strange. I'd be like, oh, but once I tried it, I was like, actually, I see why that works, or why that pairs with that, or I would never have paired that with that food. So that's why when you say, putting pineapple on tacos, people are like, oh, really? But then once you try it, you're like, actually, it works.
And just speaking again of those kind of cooking shows you've done, where you done live TV before, was it like an extra pressure doing kind of cooking shows, or did it help the fact that you've done so much kind of live TV already?
No, because it's totally different. I mean, you're cooking in focus. You're using a kitchen space you've never used before. You walk into the MasterChef kitchen and you have no idea what they're going to throw at you. You want to make John and Greg love your food. And also in the kitchen, you don't know what's going to happen. So it's stressful. So your nerves are on edge. So yes, it's totally different from live TV, but you have to I did use some of that live TV experience in terms of talking to John and Greg, because when they say you've got an hour to cook, they don't give you extra time if they talk to you. So I just make sure I say what they wanted to say quickly and succinctly so I can get on with cooking.
And ironically, the other show you worked on was Kitchen Nightmares, where other people are worried about what Gordon Ramsay might throw at them.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah,
very different reasons.
As long as I'm not cooking, it's quite fun. But when you're cooking, it is quite stressful.
Awesome. I'm going to let you go in a second, but if there's one takeaway from this survey, one thing you want people to remember, think about using pineapple in their savoury cooking, what is the one thing you'd bring up?
Bring out that you have to give things a go. Let's bring the wow factor back, which faded away, and shake things up and add pineapple to some of our brilliant UK classics. And go for it.
And go to dolesunshine.com to find out more information about this wonderful survey and this kind of really interesting experimentation with food. I think it's so important to keep on pushing it forward.
No, definitely.
Thank you so much, Angellica. It's been lovely talking to you today.
Thank you. And make sure you try some pineapple.
Will do.